Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review for you guys. So the movie I'm reviewing today is Books of Blood. Books of Blood was released on October 7th, 2020. So it is currently now streaming on Hulu. This movie was directed by Brennan Braga, and it is based on the Books of Blood by Clive Barker. I'm not 100% sure which stories in this anthology movie are based on which stories from the book, or if they're even based on stories from the book. I know one of them specifically is, but I don't know about the other two. All right, let's get into who stars in this movie. Britt Robertson plays Jenna. Anna Farrell plays Mary. Rafi Gavron plays Simon. And Yul Vasquez is Bennett. And so we start off with Bennetts Story first. And this story is split up into a couple different parts. So the first part of the story we have is Bennett and a friend or somebody, a partner, they're like mercenaries, and they're trying to get money out of this bookstore owner. And the bookstore owner's like, I don't have any money right now. I can't give you any money, but I can tell you where to find a very valuable book, the Book of Blood. And so Bennett ends up killing this bookstore owner for seemingly no reason. And then he goes on this hunt for the Book of Blood. And that's where his story ends for now. And then we move on to Jenna's story. So Jenna is like a college-age girl, and she is suffering from some trauma that had happened to her at college. And we're not 100% sure what the trauma is about. But we know that Jenna is an artist, and she has a sensitivity to sounds. Very specific sounds, which are like mouth sounds. So when people are eating, that's really uncomfortable for her. And I think that this movie does a good job illustrating the uncomfortable nature of the sounds that people make when they are eating or drinking. So I think the movie does quite a good job at that. And so her mom is really unsympathetic to her. But we kind of get this idea that she's not being completely honest with her mom about what happened. So Jenna's like, I'm getting out of here. So she kind of runs away in a sense. I mean, she's an adult now, so she just left, really. But she goes to another town and books a room at a bed and breakfast. And so this bed and breakfast is run by an older couple, and there's one other guest there at the same time she is. Throughout her story, she notices that she's being followed by someone, and she's not sure if that person is real or like made up in her mind, because she starts seeing things. And then during her stay at this bed and breakfast, she finds out that the older couple may be up to something more sinister than what they're leading on. And so that's where I'm going to leave Jenna's story. And so this next story is denoted by Miles, which I can kind of understand, but I would have probably preferred it to be like named Mary, considering that she's like the main character of this story. So we have Mary, and Mary is a college professor, I think, and she is dedicated her life to kind of debunking paranormal things and psychics. So when her young son dies of cancer, so a young man named Simon comes into Mary's life, claims that he's a psychic / medium, and that he can communicate with the dead, and that her son Miles has brought him to Mary. She puts him into like this room and has her students behind her, and they go through, and he's like, I'll show you that I can talk to the dead. And so after a certain amount of time, the lights go out, and then when the lights come back on, there's written stuff all over the walls, and it's in red, so we assume that it's blood. And so one of the things says, I'm not sleeping, mommy, which is something that ties into what her and Miles talked about before he died. And so she's kind of going through this. And so that's kind of where I'm going to leave that story. And then we come back to Bennetts Story, which is then becomes him trying to find this book of blood. And that's where I'll leave Bennetts Story. And so that's pretty much the main synopsis without giving any spoilers or anything like that. So now let's talk about what I liked about this movie. So I think that the Jenna story is probably the most interesting and has the most to do for this movie. The places that it goes is just kind of insane. The stuff that happens at the end is even more insane, and I'm still a little unsure of how I feel about it. We know that the Miles slash Mary story, that is actually based off of the short story The Book of Blood from Clive Barker's book. I think by far the weakest story is the Bennett storyline, and there's just not like a whole ton to do. Like, they probably could have just entirely eliminated his character and been completely fine with just the two stories in this movie, but they decided to keep it, and it's okay, but it's just kind of like meh. So let's get into what I did not like about this movie. And I had been watching this movie, and I thought that it was pretty good up until the end, where I saw something that I was kind of like, I don't know if I like that. So it does what a lot of the anthology movies do and kind of connects the stories. But the issue is that they are told out of order in like timeline sequence. Like, it's not a straight timeline. It's like things are happening, and it like really doesn't make a ton of sense why they told it out of order. That's really the only thing I had an issue with. The end of this movie sets it up for a sequel, and I'm really hoping that we do get one, because I would like to see another anthology of more stories from Clive Barker's series, because I really do enjoy a lot of the Clive Barker stuff that I've seen, and I would really like to see a lot more. So that is it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Let me know down in the comments down below what you thought of the Books of Blood. If you've seen it, or if you're interested in seeing it, definitely let me know. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye.